Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, one and all, to the March edition of RBG's Monthly Roundup podcast. This one coming at you live, recorded on the evening of March 10th. This is Dan Stupp Radican, aka That One Dan Guy, joined tonight by the one, the only, the CEO of RBG Esports, Josh Randomize Arcia. How you doing, buddy?
I am doing well, my friend, and happy Mario Day to everyone, even though this is going to be delayed and this will be up another day, but happy Mario Day for the time of the recording.
Yeah, and happy Mario Day to all you purists that actually know how to pronounce the our beloved plumber.
Oh, God. Mario, sorry, it's an accent.
We'll let it go this time. But this one, our monthly roundup number 11, coming at you from Josh and I, Michael Swan, unavailable here this evening. But we will continue on as our duo pair, as always here. Sorry for the delay, folks. The new year caught us on an awkward foot, and we took some time to reevaluate some things and get ourselves back in order. But we are back with plenty of roster updates since our last monthly roundup went out on December 20th, all the way back in 2019. So we've got some big news to share with you all, especially about our Hearthstone team. The Masters Tour Arlington had not yet happened last we got to speak to you beautiful people. So if you haven't been following us on Twitter, haven't been following us on Instagram, perhaps you didn't see some of our lovely content when we got all of our Hearthstone team there in person at the house in Texas. It was a great time, so make sure you're following those socials so that you can see it as it happens. You get to see some little behind-the-scenes looks and some funny moments. It's always a nice time to see the guys having a good time when they're at LAN. But it went really well, didn't it, Josh?
Yeah, no, I mean, this was, I believe this was the first event that we've had this lineup, like, go at it and everything. They boot camped for about a week long, and it pulled off. John Bray and Villain had a rough start. They ended up going 1-3 for the event, and it was just, they weren't even making mistakes or anything. It was just literally the luck of the draw and, you know, dealing with
sometimes it be like that.
Yeah, no, dealing with the RNG of Hearthstone, it can be very, very rough. So they had, they pretty much had a rough event, and it's going to happen. It happens to the best of all the players. But Innovation, Dead Draw, and Papa Jason all went 6-3. Papa Jason actually had a really good shot to get at least 7 wins, potentially getting top 8. I believe he was either 6-1 or 6-2 towards the end of Saturday. And just, again, luck of the draw, got Hearthstone Gods pretty much just said, no, you can't have any good cards, and wasn't able to finish it. But for anyone that doesn't know, with the way Hearthstone is being ran in the esports scene, they don't make every player play the entire Swiss bracket. Now, once they have 3 losses, you're pretty much out because it's almost impossible to guarantee top 8. So that's how they do it.
Right. They let you hit the cutoff and then just enjoy the rest of your time at LAN.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much play for naught and or, padding some other scores.
Right.
But overall, very, very impressed with the way our roster did in Texas. I was hopping into Papa Jason's stream, as I'm prone to do from time to time. If you're not watching him, or if you're not watching Jambray or even Villain nowadays, you can check them all out on Twitch. They're a very good time, very good streamers. Love hanging out with the guys for a little bit. But someone in his chat asked Jason, how do you feel about your RBG esports team? Like, how is RBG in Hearthstone? And he was like, honestly, I think we have one of the best lineups in the esport. And like, hearing that was such wonderful vindication to be able to wholeheartedly agree with it. And it's so exciting every time these guys go out and get to compete, because every time there's a very real, very legitimate shot at them ending top 8, or getting on that podium for the top 3, or, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, they're going to have another shot at it here soon with the Masters Tour LA, formerly the Masters Tour scheduled for Indonesia. But unfortunately, the Corona plague has descended upon the world of Hearthstone, and in a move to protect player safety and staff safety and such, Blizzard has decided to move the event not only from Indonesia to LA, but also entirely online. So all of our roster is going to get to play from the comfort of their own home for that one. So we'll all be tuning into some streams to see how they did.
Yeah,
but going to be the weekend of March 20th, and that will feature all of our lineup except for Innovation. So make sure you're cheering on John Bray, Villain, Deaddraw, and Papa Jason as they head towards that one. Papa Jason, of course, our resident Grandmaster, our esteemed company on the roster, auto qualifies for all of the Masters Tour stops. So cheer on all of those folks, and I'm sure we'll see Innovation back at it for the Sweden Masters Tour, which is going to be headed up here in a couple of months in June, with everyone working hard towards those qualifications currently. But Randomized, we have a familiar face, a beloved face, returning to the lineup.
Yeah, so...
Would you care to introduce the folks to our lovely Manny Show?
Yeah, Manny Show is back. Manny Show is part of the, I guess we could call it the OG roster of Hearthstone. For anyone that doesn't know the history of RBG, I know a lot of people know us for Rocket League, but our first 3 signed players were actually all Hearthstone players, and that was Innovation, who's been sticking with us for all this time, Manny Show, and Runny said. After the big Esports shuffle that they were trying to do different formats for Hearthstone, Manny Show ended up taking a bit of a break. He also graduated college. So
congrats, Manny.
Yeah, congrats to him. So he was spending time with family and kind of just getting IRL situated. Runny said decided to, I wouldn't say part ways from RBG, but part ways from Hearthstone. She's still here. She's around. We still chat with her and everything. She's actually into physical hard games now.
Yeah, I was going to say, I keep up with her pretty often still on Twitter and some other platforms, and she's into the Keyforge scene right now.
Yeah, Keyforge, that's what it's called, yeah.
And she's going to Worlds. She's out there killing it, still playing the card games, just a little different medium now. So make sure you're still keeping up with our girl Run and cheering her on. And
she still rocks the OG RBG jersey, so.
Oh, yeah.
We gotta get her an updated jersey, but so it's nice. But yeah, very excited to have Manny Show back. When we were at DreamHack Anaheim for the Halo team, which we'll talk about later, Manny Show did a small, I guess it's a BYOC. They're all BYOC technically. But
bring your own cards.
Yeah, bring your own cards, bring your own console, bring your own computer, bring your own. Let your imagination go with that one. But yeah, it was a small little event that our buddy Bemi, who likes to host a lot of Hearthstone events, he was able to get approval from DreamHack to host a small Hearthstone event, and Manny Show showed up, and he did pretty decent. I mean, it was his first event back for such a long time, so it was kind of nice to have him back and see him in action, and it was a nice time to be able to spend some time with him over the weekend after not being able to talk to him for quite some time. But yeah, I'm excited to see the future of how our roster does for, I guess, Master Tour LA, used to be Bali, whatever we now at home. I don't know what we're gonna call it.
I guess it's LA now.
Yeah, LA by remote.
yeah.
But I'm excited to see how they're all playing. I mean, after seeing how these guys played, I've even been inspired to get into Hearthstone again. I'm building decks, and I'm gonna take my shot at some Open Cups.
As a Swan, from what I hear.
Swan's been taking shots at Open Cups. It hasn't been going too well for him, and I'm expecting to do worse than him. I think he only has won officially 2 series out of all the Open Cups he's been in. So I expect to win 0 series, because I don't really play Hearthstone that much. But
eventually you'll come crawling back to me on Battlegrounds so I can work you there.
I was about to say, if Battlegrounds ever has an esport, we're signing Dan over here up, and he's gonna play in those Battleground Open Cups. He's like, no, I'm joking. Yeah, that's the world of Hearthstone. It's kind of become our new star baby, from what Swan said from the last podcast.
Yeah, everything is rocking and rolling in the tavern these days.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to another title, our Apex Legends adventure has taken a bit of rocky steps, as not only has the professional scene kind of failed to develop securely anyway, but we've also decided to take a bit of a step back from our roster that we had previously. Josh, if you want to elaborate a bit.
Yeah, so just to pretty much run it down, Like Dan said, the esports side of it has just been very rocky. Even for the first qualifier for the Worlds thing, just it was so all over the place. It kind of created a bit of a split in the roster as well. The players just didn't know where the future was for the esport of the game. Some were more committed than others, and it just ended up being to a point where I guess the feeling of the commitment also affected when they actually were able to sit down and play in scrims, and it didn't turn out pretty, and nothing bad. Like, the players don't hate each other. It was just more of it didn't turn out pretty for our end, where we're like, okay, well, does that mean we don't have a roster? And the players agreed that they pretty much do not want to play as a team anymore. So all three players have split ways. The only player that's sticking around with us right now is Liquid. Liquid will be hanging around as a content creator for now until the whole esports scene is a little bit more stabilized, I would say. And then Liquid's going to be kind of playing around with some players and figuring things out to see if he would get a team together. We do have our eyes on a couple rosters at the moment, but we're going to wait till the which one was it? I think it's like the regional event that's happening in Arlington, Texas, I believe this weekend, which would be the weekend of the 15th, if I remember correctly. So once that event happens and we'll be able to actually see more of what the Apex scene looks like, we'll be able to create a better judgment and a better, gameplay into how we're going to want to go into the future of Apex. So for now, we just came to a stop with it, and then hopefully things look pretty and it will make us happy to go back into it, but I don't want to put more time into a game that has no idea where it's going.
Yeah, I remember when that announcement came out of, it's delayed, signups were weird, because it was a race to the first couple of 8 teams or something to sign up were auto in for the first qualifier or something.
No, it was not
some
pretty.
craziness.
It was not pretty. And then players were getting disqualified for things they had no idea about, and then we weren't finding out till weeks later. It was just it was a mess, and so we'll see. We'll see how it goes, and then we'll decide if we want to get back or not.
Certainly. For the time being, though, a game that is not uncertain, a game that is still very near and dear to our hearts, is still the one and only Carball Rocket League. We're back in it. We've got a new roster. Josh, give us a little update.
Yeah, I know. So we haven't really shown our faces since the whole roster shuffle happened. Just to kind of break it down, because I know a lot of people have been asking questions. Reddit has been going insane about it still to this day, which, wow, thank you guys for all the support for anyone that has been backing us up. We really do appreciate that.
We appreciate the concern. Seriously. It means y'all care.
Seriously, no, we do appreciate it. We see that people care about the players. We see people care about the organization. We really do appreciate it. We are reading. We are paying attention. So thank you. I want to say that first and foremost. But in reality, what happened? Business happened. And it didn't really go the way we wanted it to, but we wanted to make sure that everyone was still happy. And we made the choice that we had to make, which you could see what it was. And we decided to reflect a little bit on the Rocket League scene. And after we talked to a few different teams, we kind of just fell in love with the idea and the story of Zookeepers really trying to push out there and make a bigger name. And I've had my eyes on these players for a while anyway. I think there's more there than people give them credit. And I mean, it's just Game 5 curses. That's really all it really is.
It really is. I mean, we were talking about this earlier, that it was it's been every game except for 72 pin connector has been super close.
Yeah, I mean, even the Stromboli game, we made an impact. No other team in RLRS at the time was able to take more than one game off from Stromboli, where we were able to take off two. The casters like to say that Stromboli was playing down to our roster. I personally think yeah, I think Stromboli definitely underestimated us, but I also think that our roster brought their A game in because they knew they were playing the hardest team currently in RLRS. So I think it was kind of both that created that moment. The 72-pin connector game, it was one of those, stuff happens. It was kind of a moment where we all shook our heads going, wait, what just happened? Because they had scrims before and they were going great. Sometimes we think, you can say what happened to it, and we could just say, we went to replay analysis, and we're going all these things. In the end of the day, it's a tournament, it's an event, it's a league. There's pressure, and sometimes it could just purely be, pressure kicked in, and these players are young. So yeah. I mean, I remember when I was a teenager, and I had to stand on stage and sing a song to a crowd of 50 to 100, I was shaking in my boots. Now, throw on 30,000 people watching you online.
Yeah, for real.
I think people kind of forget that sometimes. Like some of these players now, it's just a everyday kind of game. Like, oh, we got a game. All right, let's play. Balls up, blah, blah, blah. Done. Game's over. Some players, it still hits you, especially when there's bickering happening behind your head, and whether it's positive or negative, it plays with you, So.
Sure. And I mean, I think that's something that, like, I, for one, definitely have appreciated working with these guys.
Mm-hmm.
I got to sit down and talk to Coach Ronsky and shortly after our signing, and he was just telling me about, like, Bambi, Porklet, and Tool have been playing together for a long time.
Yeah.
These guys know each other well. They're all, very good friends in real life, beyond just being a roster that sits down to play cardball once in a while together.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really nice to see these guys have so much camaraderie and so much drive. And like you said, they're all very young, but they're all so hungry and so thankful to be in the position that they are, to have the opportunity to play in rival series. And we love seeing that drive. And they've got a lot of resiliency in them, right? We're in a couple of games through the season, and we haven't taken away a series yet, but every week they're coming out strong and they're coming out ready to win that first game and get the ball rolling. And, we're not totally out of the season yet. They can still get something rolling, and we can still see some magic in this season yet to come. But it's been wonderful to see how resilient they are and how much work ethic these guys have. So definitely big props to them. And we so love having them here in RBG for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
So another roster update, or I guess kind of akin to our Apex roster lack thereof, Halo. So we signed a team to go out to DreamHack Anaheim with us. There will be another look video coming sooner than later on that one. So make sure you're subscribed here to this here YouTube channel. But we sent out Goofy, Gabriel, Gilkey, and Blaze to go play in DreamHack Anaheim. And Josh, let the folks at home know how that one went.
So for anyone that doesn't know much about the Halo scene, Goofy, Gabriel, Gilkey, and Blaze have all been professional Halo players for years. So, and as much as it's a little bit of a running joke, everyone that is a staff at RBG knows very well that I competed in Halo.
Wait, did you play Halo?
Oh, my God. That is the meme, guys. You are now getting involved in the background whenever we talk about Halo. It's like, did you know that Randomize competed in Halo? But yeah, so like these guys have been pros that I've looked up to for such a long time, and it was honestly an honor just to be able to hang out with them and talk about Halo and get to know them a little bit more in person. It was a bit of a last-second sign-up because we weren't sure what was going on with our last roster. But two of the players decided to take a break, and the other two decided to split ways. Actually, no. Now that I remember, all three players except Squally decided to take a break or to leave the Halo scene, just because Halo Reach was kind of in that cloudy area since it was the first PC LAN ever to happen for Halo. But Squally decided to team up with other players, and we rooted on for him anyway because he's still family to us. He's a great person. But Goofy, Gabriel, Gilkey, Blaze, they are great players. They, as a roster, besides Blaze, Goofy, Gabriel, and Gilkey, have been teaming for quite some time, and they've actually won a UGC Classic back in Halo 3 last year. So we were very excited to have this team, and the add-on of Blaze, which Blaze popped off in Halo Reach back when it was in MLG. So we knew he was a good addition to the roster. But the results didn't really speak the way we expected it to. We landed in pretty much 9th place. We just missed top 8. It was a bit disappointing, but in reality, when we talked to the players more about it, it came to a fact of, people sometimes forget, like, players have, day lives as well. It's not just constantly grinding games. Some players get the luxury of doing it through streaming and stuff. Our players are very busy during the day, during their day jobs and stuff. So the players didn't really get to sit down and practice as much as they wanted to. But honestly, to pull out a 9th place for a team that didn't get to practice as much as they wanted to, that really changed how we felt about the result. So in the end, I'm happy that they were able to place 9th. Would I want them to be higher? Of course. But to be able to pull that off is pretty awesome.
Talk to me a little bit about Halo moving forward.
Yeah, so this is where things are very, very cloudy. Tashi, who's a part of the esports side of Halo and 343 Industries with HCS, there's been a lot of rumors about a potential event happening again in 2020. But we're not 100% sure. Again, there's just a lot of rumors, a lot of chitter-chatter happening, but no definitive answers. We do know that there will be pretty much a big scene for Halo Esports when Halo Infinite comes out, because HCS and 343 was able to partner with Esports Engine, which they've worked with in the past, and they've been able to pull off some amazing events. And I'm very excited to see what that partnership will do for the scene of Halo. But that is not until Halo Infinite comes out, which won't be till the end of 2020. I'm guesstimating that it's going to be sometime in November, because that's usually when the title of Halo is usually released, is in November. So that's still a lot of time, because we are sitting in March, and no Halo from then would be kind of rough, especially because I love the game. So there is a rumor that there may potentially be an event in May or sometime around that time of the calendar. We don't know if it'll be Halo Reach on PC. We're not sure if they're going to look to do Halo 5 and bring that back. They don't know, now that the Master Chief Collection has released Halo CE for the computer or PC, if they're going to host an event for that. So we're kind of just sitting, twiddling our thumbs until a little bit more of a concrete answer comes out and let us know whether or not we need to prepare for another classic, or if we're going to just kind of get ready for Infinite and see where that goes.
For sure. But we will keep you folks at home updated as much as we can along the way. As soon as we hear about an event, you'll hear about an event, because we're back to doing the roundups, baby. So you can expect one in April. If we know, we'll update you then. But just to pull back the curtain a little bit, if you haven't figured out my magic planning of these podcasts, we always stagger a little bit of our roster updates, back and forth, getting some positive, getting some updates back and forth that might not be the most favorable, whatever. But so let's swing back to that positive for our last roster update. Our CSGO team is popping off in ESEA Advanced. 12-3 on the season means we're qualified for playoffs.
No. ESEA Advanced is a rough little bubble, that's for sure. But last season didn't go to plan, and then they start kicking butt in a bunch of the small tournaments. They did great at Philadelphia, in my opinion, for their first LAN together, and then all of a sudden it just came together for this season. It was a rocky start at the beginning of the season. We went, I believe, 0-3 or 1-3, and then just from there they kicked into high gear and just been kicking butt, and we are now 12-3. I mean, their last game was a forfeit, but the game before that, I believe they won like 16 to like 4 or something. They did not let the other team breathe, and it is glorious to see these guys kicking butt. my inner Jason Lake, because I know he's a big complexity, like they love CSGO. My inner Jason Lake was jumping up and down when I was getting results of these guys, because sadly not all the games are streamed, but our coach slash manager, KJ, has been doing a great job updating us about the scores, and he sends me little DMs going like, oh my God, I wish you could see this. They're doing great, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just, I can't wait for playoffs. I really hope they make MDL. I think it would be amazing. That'll be another roster and a very valued part of the esport of the game. So, from here now, it's just players will just keep practicing, keep scrimming and grinding, and get prepared to take on playoffs.
Yeah, it's certainly been a great time watching the lads, go through this whole season. Like I remember popping in the Discord one day and checking out the CSGO chat channel, and somebody was like, hey, I don't know if we realized it. We'd been like 8-0 the last games. Like we haven't lost a game in quite a while. And we all just kind of sat there for a minute. We were like, oh, you're right. We haven't. We were just like, just rolling along. We were like, hey, good win, good game tonight, good win, whatever. And then like nobody stopped to think about, we're on a really good hot streak right here.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully that'll keep carrying over into playoffs so we can get that promotion into the Mountain Dew League. But yeah, keep your eyes peeled for the Twitter. Like Josh said, not all of our CSGO matches get streamed, unfortunately, but when we do, we're sure to include that when we tweet out our scorecards for game day, and or we try to do a bit of live tweeting here and there. We get some nasty clips from some of these guys on game day. So make sure you're out there on Twitter following us for when that happens and get your updates as we head towards playoff season. And now, just to wrap up our evening, we've got a couple little announcements. We have heard your pleas, community. We love you. We love Rocket League too. We know you want the gauntlet back, and we are working our hardest. I know we've been saying that for a bit of time now, but we really are. And we want it to be the same top tier, very quality production that it's been in the past. And we're working hard at reorganizing that. We've had some staff members with life changes. We've had some just general shakeups to our streaming and production operation. So we're making sure that we smooth out all those wrinkles, and we'll be getting back to you as soon as possible. I promise we're on the cusp of another gauntlet. Yeah. We'll have you back to your weekly car ball, or at least your semi-weekly car ball.
Bi-weekly, yeah, whatever it is.
But we hear you. We want it back just as much. And if you guys want to keep tweeting at us, want to keep commenting at us, when's the gauntlet coming back? That just puts a little more fire under us, gives us a little more drive, and we know that the community loves it so much. So never fear, the gauntlet shall return.
Unless you personally DM me, I'm going to answer it, because I've been getting a lot of DMs of, where's the gauntlet? I know it's in our Discord and everything, and that's fine. We love it. But if you personally DM me asking where's the gauntlet, I'm going to tell you it will come out. We'll have the gauntlet back when Half-Life 3 comes out. Just let me know. That has been my answer.
I mean, at this rate, there's kind of a date on that if you count Alex, but well, hopefully we'll beat Half-Life 3.
No, we don't want to be Half-Life 3, because that game's never coming out.
Well, then I hope we do beat it, because the gauntlet will be better.
Yeah.
Another little update for you fine folks. If you head over to rbgesports.com, it's still our same old website that we've had for a bit now, but behind the scenes, our web developer. There we go. Can't speak.
It's late for us. We've been in and out of meetings all day today, so to be able to sit down and actually do this,
but
it's okay.
Trying to give him the shout out he deserves. Our web developer Nathan has been behind the scenes crafting us a new beautiful website, so be sure to check that out when it goes live. We'll have tweets up everywhere. We'll have tweets up on the website. You can find this podcast there. Then you can find our Twitter feed. You can find all the good stuff RBG is putting out onto the interwebs once that is up. So we'll keep you all posted, but coming very, very soon. Hopefully by the next roundup here in April, I will be able to give you all a little tour, give you some highlights of it, and we can all enjoy a new home for RBG Esports on the internet.
Yeah,
but in the meantime,
to be fair, don't forget, our friend here, Dan, will also be putting some little news articles, maybe some stuff that we don't naturally or won't be able to get to one of these podcasts, or if you're just dying for information, once that new website is up, Dan will be able to get more and more small news articles out there to kind of give you guys a little more news and updates about what we're doing. So I know Dan you've been prepping some different stuff to talk about on the website. And I get excited. I like reading this stuff. I don't like reading in general, but his writing is actually a lot of fun. It's enjoyable to sit down and read. Maybe it's because it's about RBG and I'm a little biased, but who cares? I'm reading.
Well, I appreciate that very much, and it's high praise if it's getting Josh to willingly read. But yeah, it's definitely one of my bigger passions. As you can tell, I love explaining stuff to folks, and I love getting a chance to talk to you all about something that we're also passionate about here at RBG Esports. But in the meantime, you can find all our other homes on the web. Follow us on the Twitter, hit us up on the Instagram. If you haven't seen yet, our social media manager, Erica, has been killing it on the TikTok game. We try to feature our streamers, feature some of our players. Occasionally, we'll feature some staff in there. If you've got challenges, feel free to leave us a comment here, there, everywhere. What kind of challenges do you want to see the RBG Esports staff partake in? We're willing to get a little goofy, a little wacky once in a while. As you might see from the beginning of this podcast, Josh and I had a couple of nice bloopers that might find their way to the TikTok reel here very soon if you want to see what it's like for us to get in the mood and get our mojo flowing for these podcasts. We're always messing around a little bit in the first few seconds. So make sure you're checking that one out. As always, hit the bell, subscribe, like the videos, leave us comments. We don't have any particular community questions for this episode. I know if you've watched these in the past, you've had 10 other episodes to see it. We've loved to chat with our community, but did not have the opportunity this time to reach out to you all. So for our April edition of the Roundup, feel free to hop in the Discord. There's a podcast question box. Tweet at us. Tweet at me, at that one Dan guy, #1. I believe in you, at RBG Esports. We'll find it. We'll answer it. We would love to talk to you all. But Josh, do you have anything else for the folks at home here this evening?
Yeah, follow me on TikTok at RBG_randomize. I've been killing the game. I'm becoming a TikTok pro. Just like wow. That was the biggest fail of my life. There's a reason why I only put gameplay up and I never do any of the TikTok challenges.
Well, we might have to correct that here soon enough, but it's definitely been fun. It's definitely been fun getting to be a little bit wackier on that side of the internet. But other than that, thank you folks for joining us here for the 11th edition of the RBG Monthly Roundup. This one coming at you in March. We will be back 1 month from now in April with another update. We'll have all the standings from Masters Tour LA, everything in between. If you can't bear to wait, hop in the Discord, hop on the socials. But until then, we will see you in the next video, and you all have a wonderful part of your day.